Hello, everyone. So we are in day 5. It's hard to believe, but it's true. We are on day 5. And I just do a few things here that we are not interrupted. And so today, as I mentioned, be open-minded, because today I will be talking about things that are really can be breakthrough for some. And we will talk about change and transformation. And so I'm really happy to be here on day 5. Thank you so much for joining. Really, we have to ask ourselves: is this environment that we in? Is this really the place that we can, where the things can happen? What I mean is that we can change for a week, we can change for a month. But we are looking here. That's what I want to show you the whole week. What I'm talking about this week is we're looking for permanent change in behavior. So how we do that? So let's talk a little bit deeper about change. So change is caused to be different, and in transformation is significant alteration. So you look at the acorn. If you look at the acorn, it's a nutrient source and it's a lot of energy. It's good vitality. And that drives the nutrients to turn this little acorn to the whole ecology of this big oak tree. It's always, I'm amazed how the nature is just has this transformative quality. But we have this transformative quality. I'm just letting people in. Sorry about that. So you see what I want to, you just imagine this acorn and oak tree. And if you're looking at isolation, you don't see the potential that acorn can actually become this huge, big oak tree. But this is the transformative quality that we have, that life has, and functional medicine actually have this quality. And so every time what I'm talking about, I am asking nothing less than transformation when we developing all these really personalized and elaborate plans. And so you have to ask, is your current state that you are living it today, just reflect for the moment. Is this environment supporting the change that you want and transformation that you want to make? Because it's really important to realize this, because we know as well this from science, that it's very difficult to do this as a solo in a family, when everybody will eat the chips and everybody will eat the hamburgers and everybody will eat everything there, and you will be there with really delicious meals, because healthy meals are delicious. We have it kind of it's all delicious because it's whole foods and it will feel good. And so it will be very, very difficult to do the change if you're doing it alone. And so if you're trying, this is something that you have to really think about and maybe have some conversation, because if an environment really supports you to make this change or transformation, that will be a game changer for you. So change and transformation are different. Change happens in relationship with the past, or it's future based. So it's goal oriented. For example, you lost kilos or pounds, your cholesterol is down. These are changes. And it's usually a reaction or reflection or reaction into some kind of suffering or trauma. So for example, someone has a stroke and suddenly change lifestyle. So it's measurable when we change to certain, and then we go back. That's not necessarily. Sometimes a transformation can occur, and that can occur in present moment, or it can take a lifetime. Some people, sometimes it will never happen, because we know when transformation happen, then it's reflective, it's creative, it's open-ended, and we know it's self-inventive. So we know about its outcome, because that's the joy. It's expansion, it's exploration. You basically, you know that you transform because you can't go back to your I always feel that, but it's my personal opinion, that that's a significant alteration due to inside form of unconscious mind. It's something that we're not aware of it, and then we like, all right, there it is, and we have this awareness, and it's really so important. And it's about the bringing for the consciousness, and because what's going on in the unconscious mind. That's the driving forces of the choices we are making every day. Sometimes the choices lead to chronic diseases, and then the event can happen, and we can put it into consciousness, awareness, like, oh my gosh, I have to change this. And that's what people that's how this is reactive. But what we want here is really, before this tragedy happens, we want to be proactive and ask, okay, well, this doesn't serve me, and look really from inside out, as I was telling you this week, to really see your body as something that you just love to bits, and you have to take care of it, not from a standpoint like, oh, I don't like this for myself, or I have this fat here and there. No, not from this point. You have to step back, step to the other side, and say, because I love my body so much, therefore I will do this. So you see, it's two different mindset. We don't want any shame, any blame, any guilt, nothing. We want just, I love my body to start with, and therefore I will do all my best to take care of it, so this vessel can leave me through the life and really create this longevity. And so I don't know if you know, there's this Miller, he wrote I forgot now the book is not important. Basically, he puts in different language, and he says that it's basically it's a dissidence between one's deeply held values and beliefs, and when people come aware of that, then this is the biggest driver for change, when you realize that you don't live what you are really believing it. And he tells a story about one of his clients, and he's a businessman, and he is at work, and he gets a call from his wife, and his wife says, can you pick up the girls please from today from the school? And it's November, it's a rainy day, and he says, okay, no problem. So he leaves to work, he sits in the car, and he grabs a cigarette. But when he grabs a cigarette, the pack is empty. So he created this plan in his head that he will go and buy cigarettes before he pick up the kids from school. So he pick up the girl from school, but he hit some traffic, and of course he has a delay, so he's running late. And as he's driving by the school, the little girl already are out of the class, and they are sitting there together because it's raining and they're cold. And he looks down on the empty cigarettes, and he keeps driving with his initial plan, because he wanted to buy the cigarettes because he needed cigarettes so much. He loops around, he get the girls, and the girls get in, they don't talk, they look back, they are incredibly sad, and he looks in the rear view mirror, and he realized that nothing is more important to him than his children. And then he realized that he chose his addictions up to cigarettes over his kids, and these actions were not aligned with his deeply held values and beliefs. So when this was for the consciousness, he transformed this behavior on a dime. That's when I mentioned it a few minutes ago, that the transformation can happen like this. For some can be, if they have cancer, they completely change the way how they live forever. This is when transformation happened. Very often this is not happening. Sometimes it can take a lifetime, and sometimes it will never happen. So it's really it's creating the environment and asking the questions so that you can access and begin really to change from this deep place. This is when I told you like the 3 times why. There's one way how to do that. And so all transformation actually involves change, but all change does not involve transformation as transformative practice. So you can change, you can lose kilos, but it doesn't mean that you completely like transform, that you will never have things that you had before. So change is a short game, and transformation is a permanent change, is the behavior in a long game. That's why I can give you all recipes as you want, but this will not bring the goal that you're looking for. If you really want to be healthy, have a joy, have an energy every single day, you have to go really underneath the surface. And those are like, we know that we can tap into this. I will share with you all these stages, and we can see where we are. And this is really I will talk tomorrow about something else that is really important, how to really create the first essential step and how people can really move it with it successfully. Because if you have a big goal, it's very overwhelming and sometimes like impossible. But if we chunk it down into small pieces, which I will talk about tomorrow, it will actually can work. And because life is about momentum, change is about momentum. It's about, you know, taking something big and breaking it down into very small, these baby steps I'm talking about all the time, just like the baby steps, you know, little things that really can make a big difference in, you know, I believe that the big change starts small. So this is when really it's so important when you realize this. It's not important that to have like, you know, any success in very short time. No, we want like slowly, like the turtle. We want to go slowly and have little successes every single day. And there is something interesting that I was once in some presentation, and they were talking that when you take the initial step, first step within 48 hours, you have something like 80 or 90% chance that it will happen. So it's about the momentum, it's about get going. And I'm sure you know from other you know, things that you do in life that you know that it is like that. So for me, when I was thinking about joining the functional medicine, there was the I get just online and see what are the dates, and that was my starting point when I did my this was when I transformed the way how I think about the whole thing, the medicine and functional medicine. So really the change is about what is really important to realize, that because that sometimes we have it kind of wrong. So I want to mention this, that the change is not about integrating new ideas. It's not about, you know, putting more new things on our plate. It's about transforming the old habits and patterns that keeping you stuck, because you will not go further if you don't change the old ways that doesn't serve you. That's where change and transformation is really hard, and you have to first release those. You have to release the old patterns, you know, the old ideology that they that we usually have attached to this behavior. So it's something that there is I know is we don't talk about food and but it's just so important. And I would just want to mention this because we can do so much. And so this changes and transformation, it has 6 steps, and that's the pre-contemplate. It will be few terminology, but it's important I tell you, because you will see, I'm there, or I'm there. It will help you to kind of move on this. It's like a spiral. This is not like a line that you go from one point another. It's kind of, imagine that you're walking on a steps, on a staircase. So it's like a round staircase, and it's also, it's a pre-contemplation, it's contemplation. So pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and transformation, or termination, as you call it. You don't need to remember the names, but I have to say it so it's easy to explain. So the first one is pre-contemplation. That's like, everybody thinks that you have a problem. You don't think you have a problem, and there lies a problem. So you're not changing because you don't think you have a problem. Classic situation is that wife takes the husband to the office and says, listen, he needs to stop eating this. He needs to start exercise. He needs blah, blah, blah. And he's sitting there and he's like, okay, I went here because you want this, but I don't have a problem. I'm not changing. So that's the pre-contemplation. It's like, forget it. This is like, it's not happening. Contemplation is, this is where the setting SMART goal is very powerful, because this is when you know you have a problem, but you're waiting for the magical, mythical moment, and then you will change. So for example, I can't change now because it's almost Halloween and I love all the chocolate and Mars bars. And then it goes to Thanksgiving, and I like to eat all the foods for Thanksgiving. And so I'm not going to change. And then are holidays, and then February I go on a vacation. And then it's my birthday in March. So I'm maybe I wait, you know, after my birthday. So you're waiting for this really magical moment, it might never come. And so they stuck in the physiology and like psychology. So they know they need to change, but they don't do it because they just can't, because they're waiting. It's not the right moment. And this is where the little creating the goals are very powerful. I will talk about it tomorrow. So if you need little like little engine starts, you watch it tomorrow, because this is so powerful. And you can really, this is the first step how to move from contemplation to preparation. And preparation is the step when you don't need to start exercising, you don't need to start cooking, you don't need to start doing anything. You just have to buy running shoes. You just have to buy new pen. You have to just sign up for yoga. This is when you get unstuck, and when you move. The people who are contemplators are very, very often depressed, because they stuck in this psychology and physiology. So because it's against, they do nothing. So this energy movement that you sign up, or you just have a look, you just go and have a look, that this can really shift the energy and push the individual to preparation, which is it's great, because preparation is something that you didn't finish yet the finish line, but you are eating all the Mars bars in your cabinet. You're getting rid of the junk food in your pantry. You're having your last slice of pizza, and then you're going gluten-free. And that you're signing up for this 28 days elimination diet, for example, and but you haven't started yet. So this is a preparation. And maybe you can say you go public, because I told you that's so important. Because typically it's important, it will help us to succeed, to announce to everybody that you are going to make this change, really to put stake in the ground. So that's preparation. And then the steps is action. So how we're moving from like, oh, I don't need to do that. And that with me and stress, I said, I don't need to meditate, I don't need to yoga, like I don't need to do that. And then I did it and said, oh my gosh, this is how I can feel when I breathe, when I connect with my breath. So I was in denial. I was from pre-contemplation. Years ago, I signed up for this meditation class, and then I did the action, and then I can't be without, because I did the transformation, because I can't have my life without this breath, to just come back. And when I see the stress is coming, I just step. It's a question. It's not a question of time. It's 30 seconds to have a deep breath, but you reconnect. Stress is coming, you stop, you pause, you take a breath, and then, okay, how you respond. You don't react to the stress, you pause and you respond. And that's the huge difference. This is when we don't activate all the cascade of hormones with cortisol. And this is when we really can move so much and find a peace and everything. So this is action is when we actually taking you actually in action here, because you are here. It took you a lot of it's 1 hour a day. It's quite a lot. It's a lot to be here. So it's something that I appreciate you, and I'm happy that you are here with me. And really, so it's important that you keep going, the energy behind the change that can makes the transformation happen. So that's something that we have to always keep in mind. And then the maintenance, it's needs cultivation as well, and care, because if you achieve your goal, for example, if you if you lose the 25 pounds, it's not, or if you heal, it's not permanent yet. It usually takes a year when we really cement all these habits. And when the maintenance can turn into transformation, it's sometimes, and sometimes we can go on this staircase, we can go from pre-contemplation to contemplation, then we can slide back like, I'm not sure I need that. And then same is with maintenance. We can again, go back to action, say, oh, I'm gaining the weight. When we, for example, over Christmas or over holidays, when we gain again the pounds that we lost, we can sometimes be like, we can feel the blame, the shame. Something important that to realize that nothing wrong with that. This is not a relapse. It's just recycling that happens. And the most important thing that you can do is really take away the shame and the blame. Figure out not that it happened, but because this will happen again, before you really cement these things. I'm telling you, I have when we have weekends, we have people in the house. Of course, I always make my good choice, but even some people in this group can tell you that as well. I can see that they as well transform completely their life. But I can do my story because it's the best kind of what I can tell, because I lived this what I'm talking about here. And so of course, I have a weekend when we're eating too much. Maybe I have a glass of wine, which I never drink because I drank before beer, because I'm Czech. In Czech Republic, everybody drink beer, so I drank beer as well, not much, but here and there. And now I can't do, because it's like it makes me bloated, because it's like it's just not good. So I have beer maybe once in a while, and this is the translation I'm talking about, because before I would not even know that this is bad for me. I would drink beer because I was bloated all the time. I didn't realize that actually I can't have this. I feel better without. And this is the transformative quality. When it's not the external validation when people tell you, oh, you look good, you lost weight. No, we don't need to have that at all, because we have this internal validation. We know that, okay, I will not drink this beer. Sometimes I do, but I know I will have consequences. And we choose not to have this because we know what is good for us. And that's why I go back to this body as a sacred temple. It's always we go back to this, because if I love this thing and I know that it works as long as possible, I will make this decision according with this, and this is the alignment with the values and behaviors. And so very often actually, when people going on this 20, for example, when they join the program, they first, people saying, oh, you really, they have better symptomatology, so they feel better. And people tell them, oh, you lost weight, you look younger. And sometimes we need to hear this to get the confidence, and before we have this internal validation. So we need this, but we need first the external until we have the internal. And sometimes people know, I know that it was actually a gentleman. He was in my other program, not the 7 months, the Healthier, Happier You. He was in my other program for rosacea. And he said, I'm not giving up coffee beginning of the program, because he said, I'm loving coffee and I'm not giving this up ever. And he started doing this program, this elimination diet in that particular program. And it's 28 days when we take out sugar, gluten, dairy, all the soya products and corn, only because it's a GMO crop, and some nightshades if you really wanted coffee, but he didn't wanted coffee. And he did that. It's 28 days, and then he said, you know what, I'm skipping the coffee as well. I see what will happen. So this is like, I was like, are you sure? I said, absolutely. I feel so good. I will try the coffee as well. And then he said, I feel so good without the coffee, but I have it sometimes because I like the taste. But he was aligned with his this body, and how the body felt was the best what he wanted to achieve. So it's something that it's really like that's why I'm saying that this program that I run, it's not really, of course, I have the Radka Kitchen, and that's a lot of cooking. It's for someone who really wants to improve the cooking. But if you want to really find a healthier, happier life, and really in tune with the body, the wisdom that we all have, and it's unique to us, this is really behavior change. And we have to find our place, like in environment. As I said, it's such a strong, we know from studies as well that that when you are changing your old behavior, you have to really think about who is in your household, because you might get a lot of pushback, and you might, like, I don't want to say fail, but you might stop doing this, and you say, it's not worth it. They all, like, you can feel alone. And that's why when we have to be prepared and be, like my husband, like I didn't told him do it with me because I was the one who was sick, and I was chronically really inflamed. And if I didn't do anything back then, who knows what I have now. And by the way, today my mom has a birthday, but of course she passed away. She was 2 years younger than me. So this is for me always, I'm not saying to you this, that you feel sorry for me, not at all. This is for me kind of validation that we can do so much. And of course, you know, she didn't know what I know now. And we don't know, because if you even as a medical doctor, I didn't know what I'm talking to you now. It's the functional medicine is the looking for the root cause. It's looking for the lifestyle changes, has such a power. And this is where we can now know we can change the genetic. That's why I told you the books that I mentioned before. That's where you can really find your power and really step into it and really just feel. Then you will not care about what everybody thinks, because you know what is good for you. And then I see so much people stop doing this work because, for example, not necessarily the closest family members, like a husband, but like their son's wife, or like extended family. They, for example, they can't say, I'm sorry, I'm not eating this food, because they might feel ABCD. So this is when we have to be confident, and when you have to have this thinking and say, okay, I be proactive and say, listen, this work is really for me, it's so important. And your friends say, okay, I'm not going to pub with you for next 3 weeks, because if you, it's really important to really prepare environment as well. But I'm going too much in the details. I will talk about this more tomorrow. Really join it, because it will be practical, and you can like design what will be your steps in this journey. And that's why I want to do it tomorrow with Saturday. So it will be good if you have peace of mind and peace of kind of quiet, so we can do it together. So just go to continue. I hope it was clear that we can go up and down in this spiral, and it's nothing wrong. We don't want guilt, we don't want shame, we don't want anything, and no bad feelings. We have to stand from the point that we love our body and we want to take care of it. Not like, oh, I don't like this about myself, I'm doing this and that. No, this is like wrong energy. We have to create positive environment, positive energy, and then we can make a change. So I want to give you now in next half an hour, step-by-step process that I over the years developed that really works. If you put in place these things that I told you before, that you bring awareness to the surface. And when you say, okay, so my husband eating chips by the TV, like I have one client, she was always saying, you know what, I put kids to bed, I sit by the TV and I put popcorn with M&Ms in it, and she was like eating it like without even noticing, like that was her pattern. That's what I'm saying, like you have to move the old ones, not instead of adding a new one. So she needed to crunch on something, so we said, okay, do you like some dips? You can do hummus. I say, yo, I love hummus. So she had hummus with carrot and with pepper. She likes pepper as well, so she was chewing that as well instead. It was crunchy. So that sometimes we need this supplementation to do the first steps, because ideally we don't want to crunch anything with the TV. We want to have a nice tea or something, but initially we need to have these steps where we can like kind of slowly and gradually go into the good side. And so one thing that I want to mention before I show you the DRRN, which is I know that I think you all have the workbook, but I just want to remind you that the workbook here is the steps that I will be talking about. Define, replace, rebalance, nourish. It's here, and this is basically what, if you understand how what's going on in the body, you will succeed without fail. But it's really important to really bring the awareness to the surface, so you can, you know, the why behind it. Because something you know, just I want cholesterol to put down, if you succeed, trust me, your cholesterol will go up again if you don't change completely way how you think, and you take the old patterns away and change that. So first thing, before I show you this technique, is that I was touching up on circadian rhythm really a lot, and well, a little bit just in the time frame that we have. But I want to tell you that the research is showing us more and more, because we are more and more out of the sync. We are, lying in the bed with the phone shining to the eye. And so I just want that it's really important generate proper rhythm, circadian rhythm. Ideally is when you have a job that you're outside. Well, we don't have that, right? I mean, I guess you, like me, you have sedentary lifestyle. And so I just want to encourage you, unless you live somewhere in Scandinavia or somewhere where the sun is not shining, then you have to do something else, to bring the light information to your eyes. But if you live somewhere where the sun is really shining, even today, well, sun is shining always. It's just that we have to bring the light information to your eyes as safe as you can. You never want to stare in the sun. I'm talking about light, not the bright sunshine. This is two things. So just like that, I don't want that I want to really myself express really well. So because we want to convert the light information in the eye to electrical and chemical information that goes to the brain and goes to the rest to the body. And so that's why in the morning, don't wear sunglasses. You want in the morning to have the light in your eyes as much as you can, because this will prepare you for the day. It will tell you every organ in the body, because every organ in your body has circadian clock. And so the body needs to work, the liver needs to produce, enzyme, needs to work. All these food that we're eating all day needs to metabolize. And so without looking straight at the sun, because you can damage your retina, you have to really, the photons, the light in the morning is really crucial. And as well in the evening, if you can walk, sometimes it's not possible, but when you walk and you see sun, when you see sun going down before it goes behind the land, this light is really super important as well, because it's a different light when sunset. Thank you, Wendy. So sunlight has different type of light than sunset. And just before the sun goes behind the horizon, this is where you want to see the light. So if you have a dog, or just step out and just look outside, because this will give again information to your body that it's ready for night. Because from ancestry, we have cells in our retina that can tell what light's coming from the top and what's coming from the bottom. So it's either sun or it's a candle, right, or fire. So we have these cells. And at home, for example, if you have all lights on at the evening, you have like strong lights coming from the ceiling, you might be difficult to really establish some sleep routine, because your circadian rhythm will be out of sync. So it's something important to realize that at the evening you want the lamp, you want something that's coming from the bottom at least, or some like this level, not something from the ceiling. And because we want this melatonin secretion and cortisol secretion be in sync. In the morning, we need high cortisol, and the evening at night, we need high melatonin. If it's out of sync, we will have troubles. We'll be all day tired, and at night we will not sleep. And so this is really how we can improve our health, only by this. I told you that weight is connected to this as well. If you want to lose weight, sleep more. But really sleep. Like I teach all that in my programs. I can't go in deep how to really improve your sleep. But if something is like, some people, if they have, they taping the mouth, if they have tendency, if they wake up with a dry mouth, they are mouth breathers. So it's something that you have to fix with operation, your septum or something, but you don't want to really breathe with the mouth. It's very, very, can be it's very unhealthy in general. I don't want to go into much detail, but it's important that we have really good night's sleep when we can have the restorative, when we can regenerate our body. And this is when it's ideal when we don't eat. That's why the fasting is so important. That's why because the fasting will, if it's 16 or more hours, it will switch on the autophagy. Autophagy is the self-eating. That's where the cells will, eat up the old things and change it to the new, like protein or cell compartments and components of the broken cells. So it's really, really important. And so this is one thing I want to mention, because I see very often that we do everything and then we ended up on the phone and we watching telly until too late, and then we surprised that we still can't like lose weight or get rid of the inflammation. And as well, if you focus on weight, is nothing wrong with that. I just want to, it's okay to be wanting to get rid of the fat, because the fat around the belly, it's inflammatory. It's creating it makes you crave more. It creates inflammation. We don't want to have this, but you don't want to keep losing the same weight all your life. Like it has to stop. And that's why I want to give you all this like holistic view on this, that you have to see, like it's like puzzle. You have to put all the things, like what is else that I can do to really succeed. And that's why the puzzle, it will be different for every one of us. But those are guidelines that I'm giving you, or just suggestion and guidance. It's kind of general. We speak general, but all these nuances, what to do first, what to do second, and then you have to choose for yourself. And that's why it's important to ask the questions. That's why I'm doing this tomorrow. We do a little less session on this, when you can really design your first step that will lead you to this point when you want to go. So we talk about like excessive consumption, that it's of sugar, it's really harmful to your body. You know that. I didn't talk about it much this time anymore, because like we all know that it's just so bad, creates disease, linked to cancer, linked to heart disease. Like you hear it from everywhere. So it's not like I was talking about this 2 years ago. I just dropped it because we know that we can prevent really chronic disease when we are doing better food choices. Same with the children. You always want to be and leading as example, and slowly and gradually. When my kid would eat Doritos, I would say, you want to have a little bowl of peas first, and then you can have Doritos. And then he will eat less Doritos, because if he will have the nutrient dense peas, or anything that they like piece of carrot, this is like where it's not like fighting over food. We will go nowhere. You can never make anybody and anyone eat something. You have to lead them. Like, my daughter, she doesn't want to eat mushrooms. And I said, you know what? Okay, I understand you don't like mushrooms, you don't like the texture, but I will always put it in the food, because you need to have it, because it really has good nutrients, but you don't need to eat it. And because we have this conversation, and I didn't say, oh no, okay, she doesn't like this, she doesn't like that. People ended up like, kid doesn't like this like 5, and then they're eating veg diet. They're eating only bananas, corn, or yellow, and bread and pasta. Well, this is not, we're not helping them. We are responsible for them if they're children. And so we have to make this decision, like, slowly lead them, even they no fighting, but really like, do you want to try this piece and something that they like first, and then they can have, and then gradually you will just exchange more of the good food and less the bad food. And that's how the change can happen. So it's like something drastic will never work. We don't want any really massive prompt changes, because this will not be sustainable. This will not be, and if we're saying no always, that they will, and anyway, we will either eat in secret somewhere, or kids will eat in behind our back, and they will just, it doesn't work. We have to be in content, and we have to create this good atmosphere about that. So what is the DRL method? So we know that you need to eat anti-inflammatory food. We talked about it the other day. And so this is basically what I was trying to, when I was designing this, because this is basically this is from you. This is what I learned, this here. This is what I learned from you, helping you for years. This is basically what I put in because I think visual is very helpful. So I always think that it's like going uphill, but when you hear your view, the view is like gorgeous, and you are never regretting that you walk that much, and you sweat a little bit, and that you like, you know, it was hard few stops. And so I put it into define, bucket, replace, rebalance, and nourish. We go much deep with these programs that I run. This one is 7 months program. It's for people who wants to just be healthier and happier. Another one is for rosacea, and then I have for eye disease as well. It's basically there are different programs, but the formula is always the same for everyone, because you have to always define to really bring the awareness, like saying the why, define what you have to take out, what you have to bring in. These are the conversation, those are the deep, these are the decisions that you make, and then you're choosing your body as a thing that you love and that you want to take care of. And this is defining, like, you know, cleaning your pantry and saying to everyone, listen, guys, we're buying much less of this food. If you want, there's a one cupboard, there are some sweets. If you run out, we run out, that's it. You know, they might protest, but if you give them good supplements, like good replacement, if they have things that they taste so good, like yesterday when I you know, it was just food that I had in the freezer. I didn't have time to prepare anything, so I said, oh my gosh, would I cook quickly for the kids when they come back from school? And I had in freezer, I have the meat, the ground meat. I had in the fridge, I had kale, and I had the carrot. And always I have in the fridge, I always have onion and garlic. And I put the spices that I love, actually very similar to Wendy that showed you as well. I love the Ayurvedic spices. Actually, that's where I learned to use, you know, all these spices, because I didn't use fenugreek before. So that's what I did within really, literally, it was 7 minutes or something, like really ridiculous. Like I would not even call and find what I want to eat on a menu in 7 minutes. Like it's really quick, and it was delicious. I think I didn't put even oil because the meat was really high in fat. And so these are the things that if you give your kids food that they like, even they said, oh, mommy, you put too much kale. I said, you know, don't eat the kale, just eat they eat, of course, they ate some of the kale, but they left few leaves on the side, and they ate carrot, they ate meat, and I'm fine with that, because I know that they will eat kale. They will not feel like completely unfamiliar when they have kale in the future in a plate. That's the point. We have to introduce to them all the time. And I say it's a 7th time. It's a 7th time you taste the food, and then you will have it. And that's the problem with parents, is that or grandparents, they don't give it. The child said, I don't like it, and we just take it away. No, try again and try again. I'm not saying if someone has almonds and has like swelling everywhere. No, I'm not saying, of course we have to avoid. I'm saying just like, don't take no as an answer. Like, let's meet somewhere in the middle. Okay, just eat one piece. Can you try one piece? That's with new food. Like, we were in Maine last year, and my daughter, she's very adventurous, not my little one, and she was, that time she was 9, and she tried oysters, and I said, wow, good for you, you having oysters. And she even swallowed it. The little one, when she was like 7, she's like, so she spit it out, but she put it in her mouth, which is like, I'm happy. I didn't push them, but like because I think it's because they always kind of I'm trying to give them, I never take no as answers. Like, can we have some common ground? Because I know they have to just, I don't want them to be fussy and just be this, you know, they eat nothing. So anyway, so this is the first point, to define. You have to find for yourself what it is, and what you have to work on first. Sometimes, as I told you, one of my clients, she has to work on sleep first. Sometimes it's the conversation that might take 2 months, like with the husband, with children, until you really like, okay, we're doing it now. It takes time. It's not something like you will do it like, sometimes yes, Sometimes, yes, if there is a diagnosis, if there is a tragedy, if there is a, stroke or something, then we make decision like this. But very often it's like we have to have this discussion and really decide and define what we have to do. And then when this is in place, which sometimes can take months, sometimes they can week, and then the second is replace. So you have to know what you have to take you have to change. I told you this old ideology, and replace it and substitute with things that are good. Sometimes we have to do this in a smart way, so you even don't know that you're replacing anything. You just like adding, but in a way replacing, if you know what I mean. And so that's the replace. It's I'm just telling you this quick, just to know the idea. I'm talking, as I said, extensively in the programs. And then is rebalance. Rebalance is when we're talking about how to improve the gut health, how to improve the sleep, how to do the sleep, the stress management, how to breathe and find your breath, really, because we don't know how to breathe. They're not teaching it in school, and we don't know. And then I didn't know how to breathe until I was doing the meditation. And then I said, wow, this feels so good. I actually can feel like myself and be content with what is. And this is what we want. We want to be in this growth mindset and try and see life as every day is new. Not every day is a new day, and we can start and see everything that it doesn't go well as a new information instead of like failure or something. Like, okay, well, what I learned there. And that's very often we have in these journeys, these health journeys, that people feel that they fail, but no, it's just that it comes with it. Only 5% of people goes like this, up. We go up and down, like, okay, what did I mess here, so I have to go back, and like, what is it? Okay, let me jump here. And then of course every time you do that, it goes fast. If I told you over Christmas, if I eat too much, I as well do this. Okay, what was it? What I do with it, and then how do I rebalance it so I feel fantastic here. It's always the same thing. It's just in the beginning we have to talk about extensively of each step, so you can know like 100% and you cover it for everything. So, and rebalance is when we as I told you, the gut microbiome, the circadian fasting, we have to know, you will start movement more, and you will move more because you will know that your body needs it and feels great. And nourish for life is basically the mindfulness. It's all together. It's when you connect the dots. You see food as medicine, you see lifestyle as a medicine, you see your relationship as a medicine. You basically live your life to your full potential, that you blueprint that you have. You are really you basically the best what you can do. You will live it, and you will know what to do, because you will know by then your body so well, so you know which button to to tick. Sometimes people have a problems, they have maybe a very supported family members, and maybe they stuck, like they don't know how to cook, they don't know, like we all different. Sometimes it's like they stuck here and they would love to cook, but it's just like so we all different. And as I said, our body was designed for health. We all have beating heart, so we have so much choices that we can, we are here. So I think we are doing pretty well. So this is what I want to share with you. There's much more to it. I can take for ages about anti-inflammatory diet. I can take ages about why important is the eat of omega-3 fatty acids, why is important exercise, why important is in mindfulness. Actually, as well, movement. We know that we should really start thinking differently about physical activity, because any movement is exercise, and it's the physical activity. I think it was, I don't know which paper it was, but it's essential part of preventing disease. and it will as well help you to remove sugar cravings and improve insulin sensitivity. So as I'm not talking, we didn't talk about exercise a lot this program. I take pay attention a lot in the programs that I run, because it's just so important. Just, it can be anything, can be gardening, dancing, nature walks, swimming, bike riding, dancing. You know, I told you we do yoga every week. And I do now with my husband, we do push-ups, press-ups. And so, you know, it's important. And it's when we are inflamed, we don't want to do anything. Like, we want to sit and just sit and have more chips. Like, this is literally how we feel. And, you know, it's not bad. It's just like, okay, we have to see, okay, so what can I do? Like, I finish these chips and I don't buy tomorrow a new bag. I buy carrots, I chop them, I buy hummus, and I will try that. It's about awareness and doing the little steps, because you will see everyone who did the work, they all move more. They never move ever. They didn't move much. Did exercise in the past, but now they all like, I'm all the time on the move. And that's how it's like, it's a vicious cycle, because when you move more, you feel better, so you make better a decision about food, about everything, about sleep, about stress. And so I don't want that you are like setting yourself for some unrealistic fitness goals and any goals. This is really just about getting up and move every 1 hour. Now I'm standing here because I'm taking chance, because in work I sit and I'm looking to people. If I do surgery, I'm sitting, I'm looking to microscope and doing this. I'm sitting all day long, and it's not good, but that's my job. So if I can, I stand, and if I can, well, I don't watch much telly because I don't have time, but like sometimes if I watch movie with kids once a week, of course I sit. But if I would watch TV like a lot of people do every day, I would probably, you know, you will just stand and do, I don't know, little exercise. Just, you know, a little simple. I can show you some of these. I can make a video, little exercises that are really can bring more NO into your body. So I can show you that. And as well, sleep. We have a few minutes left. 2 minutes. I have to go pick up kids again. Because in my here is 3 o'clock. But as well, sleep. I will talk more about sleep actually on Sunday. Sleep, stress, and all that. I will tell you how you can improve your sleep. Is some of you is really struggling, because when you improve your sleep, you will automatically lose weight. We are designed. I will talk about more about that on Sunday, and fasting as well. I will touch that on Sunday. And last thing I want to mention is that something that we don't realize, but now during COVID, we could see that the loneliness was really, it's a huge problem. This can lead to really disrupt sleep patterns, it even to elevated blood pressure and really increased stress. So loneliness really has negative effect on your immune system, and really decrease your overall sense of contentment and increase the risk of depression. So we know that loneliness was a big issue, and with COVID we saw increase of the issue of the problem as well. And so we know that the social connectivity is a nutrient. It's like psychological nutrient that drives well-being. And there's something that I don't have here, my leaflet, but I have, you know, there is a science that published findings that practicing loving kindness meditation triggers a cascade of health benefits. So you will have to you start basically beginning by focusing on sending compassionate thoughts to your loved one. So and then you next you send compassion to forgiveness to yourself. So basically you will start with your loved ones, then you start with yourself. And then and the third step is when you meditate on random strangers, which we can still do, but the finally that direct loving kindness to someone that you have a conflict with or finding difficult to deal with can be like really difficult. People can have resistance, but when we able to do that, this is a breakthrough, because we will unleash so much of bad emotions, and bad emotions equals cortisol levels high, inflammation high, And so I would really everyone like encourage to try and see how you feel, because it's you see how it's all complex, and it's so many aspects of because then we as well make better decisions about our food, about how we talk with people and everything. So it's so it's so complex, and I want to give you this holistic approach because it's only way how it works. It's only way when you lose the weight, you keep it off. Or I'm talking now about weight. I know that some of you don't want to lose weight. Some of you just want to be healthier, have more energy, have more drive, like feel rejuvenated. There's a lot of things. Some of you want to, reduce the cravings, that you know that you have to take the sugar off, but you don't know how. It all goes. Doesn't matter what it is. If you do what I was talking this week, you will succeed. Importance is to do little tiny steps, and you will succeed. It's very important. We don't want anything like that you just feel that is not achievable, because it is. And the magic is it's about the little things. I was talking about the domino effect. The domino effect is like you can't, like, if it's such a big domino that you can't like even move, you will never be able to put it down. But if it's like little one that you can, and then little one will put down the little one, and this is the domino effect that works. And this is what I'm talking about. Always do the little baby steps. So I'm sorry we don't have today time for questions, because it was really a big a lot of topics today to talk through, but I would have tomorrow for the session, we can talk about things. You can ask me anything, we will have more time, and I can't wait to see you. Please share what are your breakthroughs, what are your aha moments. I really appreciate if you can share it with me, because I always like to make this session, as I told you, better and better. And I will see you tomorrow. We will again up to 1 hour, something like that. Longer tomorrow, longer if you need, if you have more questions. But it will be again at 9 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. And if Facebook, it will be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye.